Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari warning the banking crisis might not be over. That commentary pushed shares of regional banks into the red last week. Now, 4 banks failed in the first half of the year, including Silicon Valley Bank, which faced $42 billion of withdrawals in one day. In the wake of those failures, other institutions stepped in to fill the void. One company in particular has seen customer funds grow by around $3 billion since SVB's collapse. For more on this, we turn to the co-CEO of that company, Enrique Dubugras, Brex co-founder and co-CEO. Now, Enrique, thanks so much for joining us today. So first, let's talk about what Brex is for those who might not know it. What do you all do?
Yeah, absolutely. So Brex is the first global unified spend platform. So we have corporate cards, spend management, reimbursements, accounts payable, travel, banking, all in one place. So think of a mix of your bank with all the software you use to manage your finances.
All right.
So let me ask you, can you kind of walk us through the banking crisis as it evolved from your point of view? I'm thinking this is going to make a great Michael Lewis book or movie someday. But there were some hiccups that day. And then when did you realize the extent of what was going on and what was in store for you, what you had to do over the weekend, and how did you execute that?
Absolutely. So Brex was one of the alternatives to Silicon Valley Bank. A lot of the next generation companies who were starting out came to Brex for their banking services. So because we have business accounts that has checks, wires, ACH, and a lot of the traditional non-lending banking needs a company might have. So we originally were aware of it on that infamous Thursday because we saw a lot of funds just coming in, way more than our regular kind of day-to-day funds. In the afternoon, we started getting a lot of text messages from VCs and founders and entrepreneurs saying, hey, what's going on with SVB? We didn't really know what was going on. And then on Friday, we saw that they blocked all the wires that were coming in. So we knew something was wrong. And then obviously announced the receivership later that day. Over the weekend, we raised almost $2 billion to do payroll loans to make sure employees were getting paid on that Monday, which turned out to be unnecessary because the government obviously stepped in. So it was probably one of the craziest experiences of my professional life. But, nonetheless, I think most customers were okay.
So you had a huge surge in demand all at once, really, around that. But we've seen, kind of the issues within the banking sector grow quiet recently. What about demand now? What are you doing to attract other business customers to you all?
Absolutely. So we found that, that spike in demand happened around then, but it's been a lot of new demand has been coming because we've seen a change in behavior from customers from wanting to have one banking partner to having multiple banking partners. So before we saw, hey, I want to have my relationship with SVB and concentrate there. Now, we feel that customers have an account with Brex for their day-to-day needs, but they also have an account with JP Morgan or one of the big 5 banks. So we're seeing this kind of distribution of having multiple banking partners and using each of them for what's their best. Brex is really good because it's really easy, simple, online. So it's great for your day-to-day needs because it has a lot of the software that's integrated all into one place.
Let me ask you, how does artificial intelligence wrap into your products? I know in a lot of your fintech firm, I'm assuming it probably pervades your organization, but could you just go over some of the things that a consumer who's used to maybe consumer-facing AI might not expect that is powering your company?
Absolutely. A great example for Brex is around doing your expenses. So we replace traditional companies like SAP Concur for expense management and travel. Today, that's the core of our business, is replacing American Express for corporate cards and SAP Concur for expense and travel. And we use a lot of AI, so you don't have to do your expenses anymore. You can just swipe your card and that's it. No more tracking receipts, uploading memos, calendars, none of that. You just swipe and that's done.